Alright, you lot. Welcome back to only place where objective play reigns supreme, and we'll leave all that kill streak chasing nonsense at door. Today's video is going to be a banger, because we're diving headfirst into XDefiant's latest mid-season updates, fresh off Xdebrief. We've got brand new map, some tasty events, and a double XP weekend that'll have you ranking up faster than that sweaty triad in his mum's basement. But before we get stuck in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that bollocks. Helps channel grow, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for this. Let's crack on, shall we? Now, first up, let's talk about what went down in yesterday's Xdebrief. We got a juicy little mid-season update packed with all sorts of goodies, including things starting today. I mean, they didn't just drop a crumb, they served a full feast, and I'm here for it. So let's kick off with new map, Air and Space. Layla from Ubisoft San Francisco has taken us on a grand tour, and mate, she really paints a picture. Imagine this, a multi-layer arena map that brings you straight to art or a museum that's seen better days. I mean, who doesn't love a good blast from past, right? You'll be zipping around Washington DC with colourful overgrowth and vibrant murals are a nod to urban explorers who left the mark. This ain't your grandma's museum. This is where dark and moody vibes from Division 2 get a cheeky facelift and futuristic twist. And let's not forget about cheeky little astronauts and aliens cheering you on from sidelines. I can just hear them now. Go player, get that kill! It's like space themed pep rally. Keep your eyes peeled for those sniper spots, cause this map's central lane is sniper paradise. And if you fancy some close quarters combat, left and right lanes are just begging for a brawl. Now picture this. You set up your trusty highwayman scrap turret in Planetarium, watching your bullets soar across a star-studded sky while dodging around in Mars room like you're some sort of intergalactic hero. It's all about fast-paced action, folks. Air and Space map is a true gem, and if you played Division 2, you might find yourself navigating these halls like a pro. But don't get too cocky, cause XDefiant's adaptation brings its own chaos to the party. And speaking of parties, get ready for the Stellar Strike event launching today. This isn't just some run-at-mill launch party, it's a full-blown extravaganza to celebrate this stellar new arena map. Starting today, this event is going to have you grinding like your life depends on it. Complete those special Ubisoft Connect challenges, and you'll be raking in free weapon skins, character skins, and XP boosters. Honestly, it's like Ubisoft looked at community and said, you want fun? Here, have some free stuff. Who don't like that? And let's be real, double XP? I mean, it's basically a free pass to shoot your way to top at leaderboards faster than an average gamer can complain about lag. And here's kicker, Stellar Strike challenges refresh every 2 days. That's right, every 2 days you get fresh shot at new rewards. It's like a daily dose of gaming crack that keeps you coming back for more. You'll want to hop in early and often to snag everything this event has to offer. I mean, you don't want to be that guy sitting there with empty pockets when your mates are flaunting the new skins, do you? So get your game face on and dive into that event playlist. And if you fancy a little spice on your loadout, don't forget to check out new Space Program bundle in store. It's going to make your loadout look extra astronomical. Nah, seriously, they're not just throwing around buzzwords here. You'll be envy of every player in lobby. Now while we're riding high on excitement to this new map and event, let's take a quick peek at what's coming up next. We're gearing up for an Halloween event later this month. And let me tell you, I'm buzzing about this one. Halloween's my favourite holiday of year. Forget those fancy family gatherings, give me a good scare any day. I want something that'll make heart racing. Not this watered down Fortnite style nonsense that feels like trick-or-treating for toddlers. If you're gonna bring spooky season in XDefiant, do it properly. I want scares that'll make even bravest players jump. Imagine walking through new Air and Space map and suddenly encountering some creepy Halloween themed surprises. To pull it off right, could be the best in-game Halloween event we've seen yet. So whether you're hunting for skins, grinding for XP, or just looking for a good scare, it's time to dive back into XDefiant. Trust me, you ain't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's keep energy rolling and jump into some community questions that came up in latest Xdebrief. You know, kind of queries that make you sit up and pay attention, like when you realise your mum's offering a second helping of Yorkshire pudding. First up, we got Hot Topic. Age-old debate of mouse and keyboard versus controller input. Now this is one we all love to argue about, right? Zach Paget, community developer, tackled this head on. He acknowledged that differences between inputs have sparked heated discussions since, well, forever. It's like watching a couple of old mates squabble over who can take a better penalty kick. Everyone's got their opinions, and nobody's backing down. Zach made it clear that Ubisoft wants to ensure that both inputs play well against each other. That's right, folks. They're not trying to hand out gold stars to one side while leaving other in dust. So if you've been arguing about aim assist versus precision, just know that Ubisoft is trying to keep things fair and fun for everyone. But here's kicker. You can't please everyone. It's like trying to get a cat and dog to share the same bed. Someone's going to get scratched. At the end of the day, no matter how balanced they make it, there'll always be that one player who thinks that gaming God, when really, they might be just a tad delusional. Sorry, not sorry. Now moving on to another question that got a lot of buzz. What's format of Xdebrief? Zach broke it down for us. Each season will feature a big reveal, showcasing new factions, maps and all that jazz. But mid-season Xdebriefs, them's where they get to chat about live updates happening in game right now. It's like a behind-the-scenes look at magic happening in real time. Honestly, I love these debriefs. It's a chance for Ubisoft to connect with community and keep everyone in loop. It's refreshing to see a developer actually take time to explain the decisions rather than just dumping patches and running. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? Who else is doing this? Then we had a fun little tidbit about gifting items in store. Yeah, that right. Zach confirmed that gifting is on the radar, though not an exact date has been set. But imagine possibilities. You could buy your mate the shiny skin, or latest battle pass. If I could gift my son battle pass, I'd be hero at day. So whether you're screaming at your screen about input balance or dreaming of being coolest parent on block, Ubisoft's listening. Keep those questions coming. And who knows, maybe they'll feature your burning queries in next Xdebrief. Now let's keep momentum rolling and jump into my thoughts on what could be in store for Year 2 or XDefiant. Now before you go thinking I'm some kind of oracle with insider info, let me set record straight. These are just ideas bouncing around my head like a bunch of over-caffeinated squirrels. But hey, if Ubisoft's listening, here's some spitball thoughts that might just spark a few creative fires. First and foremost, let's get one thing clear. Don't copy COD for anything. I've seen a lot of players whining for features straight out of Call of Duty. Sure, take inspiration if you must, but please, for the love of gaming, don't turn XDefiant into a cheap COD knockoff. We've got ults. That's more than enough explosive fun without needing kill streaks cluttering up mix. XDefiant has its own flavour, and that's what makes it unique. Now here's a thought that's been kicking around my noggin. How about a no abilities mode? I know, I'm usually first to shout, adapt or get out, but I get it. Some folks just want to run and gun without worrying about special powers turning them into human fireworks. A 24/7 playlist where abilities are disabled could be a nice compromise for those who prefer more traditional shooter experience. Let them have the guns and bombs without flashy distractions. Let's tackle a few more features that could really enhance gameplay experience and keep us all glued to our screens. How about more maps? Now before you start throwing your controllers at me, hear me out. 3 maps per season? That's cute, but let's crank it up a notch. What if we took sections at linear maps and transformed them into arena maps? Imagine this. You have a linear map cut off at key checkpoints. And voila! You got yourself 3 brand new arena maps that keeps players entertained. This way you're not only feeding beasts with new content but also keeping gameplay fresh. Just picture chaos and strategy as players navigate familiar terrain but in a completely new format. It's all about keeping excitement alive. Now let's pivot to something that might raise some eyebrows. Shorter seasons. I can hear cries of, but why? Already. But look, if we want to keep our core XDefiant community engaged, we need to shake things up. I'm talking about max 2-month season. This keeps anticipation high and prevents game from getting stale. Imagine having a 90-tier battle pass that feels less like a marathon and more like a sprint at finish line. Plus, if you drop content mid-season, you keep everyone buzzing with excitement. It's all about pacing. Speaking of pacing, let's chat about store. Yeah, I know, everyone's favourite topic. But let's be real here. We need a bigger store with slightly reduced prices. No one likes feeling ripped off when they're trying to customise the character. Take a cue from industry giants like Fortnite. A massive store filled with reasonably priced items means players are more likely to splurge. But hey, don't just sell items in bundles. Offer things singularly. Sometimes we only want one item but can't fork out for all kit and caboodle. It's a simple tweak that could bring in more buyers and keep economy flowing. Now let's not forget about animated and reactive camos. Bling bling at gaming world. Here's those flashy weapon skins that light up with every kill. It's about adding that extra flair, something that makes players feel special and unique while they're racking up kills. I mean, if you're gonna take someone down, why not do it in style, right? Next, time for a bit of social interaction. Long-awaited persistent lobbies. You know what I mean. Kind where you can actually hang out with your teammates and form a bit of camaraderie, rather than just diving headfirst into battle and forgetting everyone's name. Gaming's supposed to be social, right? Having persistent lobbies allows players to strategize, trash talk, and form connections without feeling like they're in a revolving door of matchups. It's about time we made gaming a bit more personable. This brings me to the idea of cross-team voice chat and death reactions. Seriously, how are we supposed to bond over our mutual hatred for that one sniper in corner if we can't communicate? It gives power to trash talk each other after a brutal match. It adds level of hilarity and unpredictability to a game. Besides, who don't want to hear their opponent squirm when you hit them with a perfectly timed comeback? Just imagine chaos. Now let's pivot to more challenges for XP instead of grinding for camos. I hear it all the time, just running the same gun for hours is boring. So why not spice things up a bit? Create challenges that reward players for using different weapons or accomplishing specific feats. Maybe something like 100 headshots for 5k XP. This way you keep players engaged, and they'll actually feel like they're progressing without it feeling like a chore. And here's a cheeky thought, how about in-game cosplay? Yeah, am I right? Let's say you want to play as a phantom but rock some DedSec abilities. Why not? It adds a bit of flair to the game, allowing players to experiment with different character skins and abilities. You could earn these skins as rewards or snag them in store. Just think of possibilities for customization. And last but not least, this one's my personal favourite. I want my voice as an announcer. Come on, Ubisoft. Imagine brilliance for having me yell, "Get on bloody objective, you muppet!" or "Stop them from escorting that package, you twonk!" to bring a whole new level of entertainment to the game. Think at laughs, chaos, epic moments. Just send me scripts and I'll get to work. Free of charge, of course. So that's a wrap for this deep dive into World of XDefiant. If you're feeling as pumped as I am about these ideas and updates, then you know what to do. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and drop your comments and questions below. I might just feature them in a video. Cause who doesn't love a bit of spotlight, eh? And remember, whether you're blasting enemies in new air and space map or dreaming of persistent lobbies and dynamic challenges, we're all in this together. So keep your head in game, your controller charged, and I'll catch you next time, you magnificent